Hello. So the big news that happened last week was the passing of His Excellency John Pombe Magufuli, the president of Tanzania. Magufuli is a man that needs no introduction. All over the continent, he has been renowned, and his policies and things of that sort. Whereas he has done, or whereas he did good for his country, but he failed in issues of human rights, in issues of democracy, in issues of tolerance of people who might disagree with him in one way or the other. You see, me as an individual, some people, you see, when you're discussing or when you are trying to understand African politics and history, the very minute of issues is that people look at as minute, right? Some people might say, the opposition in Tanzania doesn't matter. You get it? Some people might say, the opposition in Tanzania, they are sponsored by the West. And that is the same thing we can say to Ugandans as well, the Ugandan opposition. Because people are saying that the opposition in Uganda are being sponsored by the whites. Now, whereas Magufuli built roads, he cut government spending, the cabinet and all these kind of things. Yes, that is a very big credit that we should give him. And he made sure that he did not rely on mostly foreign aid in order to carry out these construction projects and things of that sort. But the issue of... because if you're building all these infrastructures, you're building it for the people of Tanzania, regardless of their political affiliation, religion, or something of that sort. So the biggest thing where I believe that Magufuli failed is tolerance of people who might disagree with him, right? Tolerance of people who might have divergent opinions from his, and not looking at them as enemies or terrorists in one way or the other. And that has been the biggest problem of Africa. Because in Africa, people have constructed roads. Gaddafi was under sanctions for over 30 years. And he managed to take through Libya all those years being self-reliant, self-sufficient, and even having some extra money to give other African countries developing different projects in the world. Gaddafi built the biggest mosque in Africa. It is in Uganda. It is Gaddafi who financed that mosque with his own money. Gaddafi built for us a palace in the kingdom of Toro from his own money. He built different infrastructures in other parts of the world, other parts of the continent. But the problem with Gaddafi was one. He failed to work, or he failed to find means on how to work with people he disagreed with in his own country. For me, I always tell people that just imagine a situation. If it was Gaddafi that championed democracy and the rule of law and the fact that people can change power from one person to another, just like Nyerere did. Just imagine if it was Gaddafi that championed democracy. Where would Africa be? Just imagine if it is it is Mobutu who championed democracy. Just imagine if it was Bashir or if it was Idi Amin that championed democracy. The biggest problem or the biggest scourge that we have on the continent of Africa is the fact that people who, number one, overstay in power, who do not want to hand over power, and people who tramp upon the opposition and treat them as enemies or as terrorists in one way or the other. So the death of Magufuli is something that has been eye-opening, that is actually giving us a great lessons and things to think about as leaders or as people in Africa, both within the opposition and people who are in government, both as Pan-Africanists and people who wish Africa, who wish well for Africa. There are bits and pieces here and there that you can take away from Magufuli, but there are also bits and pieces that you can leave, that you cannot borrow from Magufuli. Because for me, what I believe is that where things would have gone, maybe, you never know, it would have gotten worse, but what we all say, in religion, that, God takes people at the right time. He doesn't delay, or he doesn't, he doesn't delay it, or he doesn't, move it very fast in one way or the other. So, rest in peace, John Pombe Magufuli. But also, I think what we have seen in Tanzania, the peaceful transfer of power from Magufuli to Suluhu, the lady who has taken over now, she has sworn in, and the event that took place yesterday, I think, that took place, the big event that took place yesterday. Now, we all realized that Museveni did not attend the event. Kagame sent an envoy. Burundi sent a vice president or something of that sort. And yet all these people are a drive's distance. It is a drive distance away from where the event was. Or they can drive there if they had started driving like 2 days before. Isn't it? Now we have people like Cyril Ramaphosa from South Africa coming to the event. People like, what do you call him? The president of Mozambique and others. And Uhuru Kenyatta is the only East African president that attended the burial of, or the event, this event that took place of John Pombe Magufuli, the funeral. Whereas these people went to the embassies to pay their respects. It is interesting to see that it is only Kenya that has attended the funeral. Well, we have to ask questions. What is going on? Is it a concerted effort between Ndishimiye of Burundi, Kagame of Uganda, and Museveni to isolate Uhuru Kenyatta? Why is Uhuru Kenyatta attending and all these other three are not attending? Is this what the East African community is all about? Well, that is really, really interesting. Okay. Now, a few things. Some people say that Museveni did not attend because he believes he's not the president of Uganda, of which we all know he's not the president of Uganda. He rigged the election. He stole the election. He's the fifth in chief. So he's also ashamed to go and stand amongst other presidents. Museveni is ashamed to go and stand amidst a situation where power is being handed over from a deceased president to a president or another president, of which the other president is a lady, a woman, and a Muslim. Museveni cannot stand there to see how people are handing over power peacefully. Because everyone will be looking at him. He's the old man out. He's been living. He has been in the country. He has lived, he has ruled in the country for 37 years with an iron grip. So when he goes there and everyone is looking at him, everyone will be looking at him and thinking, this one is next. Oh, Museveni is next. We see he's the old man out. He's really old. So that is why, of course, Museveni did not attend. Now, the issues might also be geopolitical. I've always told you that now Kenya is taking the leading role in the entire East Africa. Everyone is looking at Kenya. Everyone is looking for advice in Kenya on how to work with the entire East African region. And Kenya is being used as a benchmark on, on the entire East African region. That is in Uganda, Kenya, Burundi, Tanzania, as well as South Sudan. So Kenya is a very big player in the region, especially His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, what is interesting is the election that is going to take place in Kenya next year. The person that they will be bringing on board, or the next president, will really have to see that they take on that role. Because look here, you should all understand, when Museveni stole the election, the first East African president to congratulate him was John Pombe Magufuli, and then the one of Burundi. Uhuru Kenyatta congratulates Museveni, but he takes the message out. Kagame has never congratulated Museveni because of the rift that is between them. That is what they say. That is if the rift is even there. Now the thing is this. We all know Museveni has always been saying, oh, Magufuli, my friend, Magufuli, my friend. He refused to attend the funeral. And there are so many reasons as to why Museveni should have attended that funeral. Because we had Magufuli secured a deal to have Uganda's oil pass through Tanzania, the longest pipeline in Africa, from Hoima to Tanga Port, a big infrastructure project, where Tanzania has a stake of 5%, Uganda has a stake of 15%, and I think Sinok and Total, they also have, but Total has the biggest percentages. So what is actually going on? Now, some other ones might say that, no, Museveni wants to take the limelight away for not attending. But also Kagame will not let Museveni take the limelight away, so Kagame will also not attend. Now, for Ndayishimiye in Burundi, he follows one of the two. If one of the two doesn't attend, he convinces Ndayishimiye, okay, you are my partner, let's not attend. Just to take the limelight away. You get the point? So, Museveni not attending Magufuli's funeral is for every leader in East Africa who thinks Museveni is your partner, who thinks Museveni is your friend, who thinks that you can do a deal with Museveni, or Museveni is a Pan-Africanist. My brother, think twice. This gentleman has never been a Pan-Africanist. Can you imagine someone who congratulated, the first person to congratulate him, he did not even go and attend? Tanzania as a country has a very rich history between Museveni. Tanzania is one of the countries that brought Museveni in power under Julius Nyerere. Julius Nyerere gave sanctuary to Museveni. He gave sanctuary to Obote. Always, Tanzania has been used as a launching pad to attack any government during Nyerere's regime. Because Nyerere never liked the monarchy in Uganda. He never liked Uganda. That is the truth. Like, Nyerere never liked the Kabaka, Mutesa. That is why you see when the Kabaka left, when the Kabaka was exiled, he went straight to London. But when Obote was exiled, he went to Tanzania and then Zambia. When Obote was exiled, Obote the first, when he was kicked out by Idi Amin, he went to Nyerere. And that is where he launched his attacks. When Museveni was launching an offensive against an insurgency against Amin, he launched from Tanzania. They were never given homage they were never given sanctuary in Kenya. No. They launched all from Tanzania. So you see the history. Obote too, when Museveni was fighting Obote again, you can see that he was still working through Tanzania and all this kind of thing. So Tanzania has helped him for a very long time. And how has he paid John Pombe Magufuli? By not attending his funeral. Which is really interesting. Uhuru Kenyatta is the only president in East Africa who has learned Museveni and his tactics and tricks. And maybe Kagame. But for Kagame, I'm not very sure. Because Kagame, they might be friends. But on this side, then they pinch each other. Then they go and they laugh about it. That can be happening as well. You never know. But Uhuru Kenyatta, you can see that he is not taking any of Museveni's tactics, any of Museveni's games. You bring for us maize that is expired, take it back. You launch an you launch a direct flight from Kampala to Mombasa, you're cutting us short, we shall launch one as well. Direct competition. He's like, this guy, he has spoiled the entire East African community. Museveni is jealous of Kenyatta. And Kenyatta is just a young man. He's jealous because Kenyatta is getting all this limelight. People are looking up to Kenyatta now. Anyway, I don't want to be so much into this sort of stuff here and there. But it is really interesting. That is why we warn all you so-called African Pan-Africanists saying, oh, the Museveni, blah, 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 Museveni this. This is what Museveni has paid Magufuli. He's just a drive's distance away. He refuses to attend. He's the person who recognized him as president. So what we tell people, and people don't listen. Now, as I wind up this episode, for me, I will tell people one thing. The problem of Africa is one. It is not infrastructure. It is not foreign aid. It is not white people, by the way. That is as far as I can go. The problem of Africa is if we can find to disagree as Africans without being disagreeable. The problem of Africa is if we can handle dissent, if we can handle divergent views, if we can sit and agree and say, look here, I might not disagree with you on that point, but let us move on and work together. That is the only way you can bring Africans together and negotiate deals together to the extent that even if any other country outside your country comes and attacks you, the entire continent will back you, whether opposition or those in government. We don't need to be enemies. Because even if you construct roads, ladies and gentlemen, even if you construct buildings, even if you cut foreign aid, all these kind of things, Gaddafi did all these things. But he failed to harmonize his nation. He failed to harmonize his country. And in the end, whatever he built went with him. Everything went. So I really, really love what Magufuli did for the short period of time that he was in power. But the problem is that he failed to handle the opposition in the right way. I know some people might disagree, some people might agree. But the problem of Africa has always and always been, because Africa is multicultural. Africa, we have a lot of ethnicities. We have so many religions. All those things have to be balanced. You are not going to make everyone happy, but you shouldn't be killing everyone that disagrees with you. You shouldn't be beating everyone that disagrees with you. You shouldn't be beating, like kidnapping and arresting everyone that disagrees with you. You don't need to do that. You can live in a country peacefully with Bobby Wine. You can live in the country peacefully with Chadema and Tundu Lissu. You don't need to assassinate Tundu Lissu. You get the point? So we believe that Tanzania has now opened a new chapter with Her Excellency Suluhu, and we believe that Suluhu will make a few changes where Magufuli might have gone wrong. Suluhu will try to harmonize. And Suluhu should open her eyes and ears and look out for people like Museveni. Anyway, he's not even the president. But she should work with people like Bobby Wine, His Excellency. She should look out with East African people who have some sort of... She should look out. Suluhu. And Magufuli was one person who was not taking any of that crap, by the way. That's one thing I liked about him. He wasn't taking any of this crap of the Musevenis and all this kind of thing. No. The only thing that he did that was wrong is the way he handled the opposition, just like Museveni is doing in Uganda. Museveni has done so many wrongs. Corruption, government expenditure. That's why Museveni never attended the funeral, because he looks at Magufuli as a saint. How could he be able to pull all that off and remain popular in his country? You get the point? So Museveni is jealousy. For 37 years, he has failed to curb corruption. He has always been telling people it cannot be solved. Magufuli has solved it. Tribalism is another problem we have in Uganda. Tanzania doesn't have the issue of tribalism. Sectarianism in terms of religion, Tanzania doesn't have that under Magufuli. Museveni has all of that. Sectarianism, tribalism, COVID-19, all this kind of thing. And killing his own people. And kidnapping his own people. And so on and so forth. So brothers and sisters in Tanzania, you have opened a new chapter. For Magufuli, his is closed. Suluhu, a new one. Please, make things right. Let us have a new path. Let us all work together as people in the opposition and people in government. Let us find those means. Because if Suluhu cannot do that, then it will be business as usual in Africa. And nothing will be changing. Kenya will be voting next year. And for Uganda, we are still fighting to reclaim our victory. Rwanda, Burundi, those ones are also there, as well as South Sudan. So ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. Have a great day. Bye-bye.